The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. And of course, as always, we come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on today? Well, we had all the action in the first 30 minutes or so. And that's it. I think we're kind of on hold for the Fed meeting tomorrow. We might have some action after the bell tonight and into tomorrow morning for AMD's earnings. And we'll go through the earnings we did have today. I don't think there was a lot. Most of them look fairly good for today anyway. So we'll go into that. But we have about another 25% more earnings than we have or after tomorrow than we have today. So we're starting to wind back up. After the bell tomorrow night, we've got Roku, CVS Health, Qualcomm, Etsy, CF Industries. What else do we have? That's most of the ones that are after the market close that could move the markets. So a little bit after tonight, a lot more tomorrow night. And, of course, we'll find out just how nervous the market is after the Fed at 2 p.m. tomorrow. 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always put a message in the den. Okay. And what else are we doing here? Now, let's just go ahead and get into the charts. I'm hoping I have enough time to get to all of them today. But we'll do history after the break. We'll start getting a look at these. Okay. And clean this up here. BP, of course, energy is probably the best bet in the market these days. If you try to make a policy that makes something more scarce, the cost will be higher. Just kind of simple, isn't it? Anyway, we're up at previous highs, kind of lighter volume. Nothing really to write home about on BP today. To Eaton, another one back up to its highs. You actually have some decent volume today as you go up against the 153.82 high. You're not quite there yet. HSIC, a big day for this one, Henry Schein, and they make, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that they make those kiosks. That you find, or not kiosks, but they're kind of like little computer systems for dental practitioners, laboratories, physician practices, government, institutional health, and other that are tailored to that kind of healthcare business. They also implants, gypsum, acrylics, articulator, abrasives, dental chairs. Apparently, if they don't have it, you don't need it if you're a dentist or in that area. Delivery units, x-ray supplies, vaccine, surgical products, diagnostic tests, infection and control products, x-ray products, equipment, vitamins. They got literally everything. They got more things than Carter has pills. Anyway, big day as we get back up to this gap down on this that goes back to September 13th. That had 500,000 shares. We got 1.3, so you're going to probably that's probably going to be sticky. It's going to probably be back up there. Okay. KKR. And what do you have here? Yeah, you're just back up. Again, a lot of these things are just back up to their resistance levels. On the 13th, also of September, KKR gap down with 2.8 million shares. You got about 2.3. And again, not a lot of people probably getting too brave out there in front of the Fed tomorrow, but, we're pretty close on a lot of these. Leidos, LDOS, always sounded like an alternative to Microsoft DOS, LDOS. Anyway, this is another one. Just look how many of these things look the same. You had a big gap down on the 2nd of August on this one. 1.4 million shares. On this one of the few that is up on lighter volume, about half of that so far today. Lilly did have a gap down. Volume's probably going to be fairly good. This thing just looks like it's a bigger trading range. I know some people are starting to get a little bit nervous in the biotech sector, in this big biotech sector, because a lot of the big guys look like a lot of these lawsuits are now starting to get a lot more real. Some of the documents that we've seen during the pandemic are starting to come out. And the question is, what did they get indemnified about? They made some claims, and now those claims are fairly significantly proven to be false. And whether they put it on the side of the packages or just came out in public and said that they did something that they didn't, may be really problematic. But a lot of people starting to think maybe there's some bigger lawsuits that are going to spring out of these bigger biotechs, and probably paint, not the smaller ones, but certainly the bigger ones probably all get painted with the same brush, problematically. MPC is breaking out. That's Marathon Petroleum. MPC, 7.7 million shares. That's June 8th. And 113.66. You have broken through, but it didn't have volume. Again, if these things just kind of hang up here, this may be more about a Thursday deal, and a lot of people not wanting to get too pregnant before the Fed meeting tomorrow at 2. Okay. Let's see. And PPD. Nice push higher here. And he really didn't hold the highs. 5.8 million shares. Where's that at there? 73 million share gap down. This is one of the China stocks. Pidentu. How do you pronounce it? Pinduoduo. It's an e-commerce platform in the People's Republic of China. Mobile platform that offers a wide range of products, including apparel and shoes. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. Didn't hold the highs, very light volume, but a nice bounce in the morning. We'll be back in a minute.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kakestat's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kakestat breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors. Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And I'm told it's Pinduo or Pinduo, but I like Pindutu better. And important to have fun when you're trading. You don't want to be a dry ball. When's the last time you heard that? I remember that used to be when I was like 10. You were a dry ball if you were boring. 877-927-6648. And see, we've got any emails here. I need to move this around. There we go. Let's see what we have. Any junk, any trash. Okay. Get rid of those. 877-927-6648. He said. Anyway, PPD, no volume on a pop today. Gave most of it back. Very interesting. Had a lot of stocks at the open that just instantly gave it up, which is never a really good sign. But I'm not going to write too much into that ahead of the Fed. Hey, I rhymed. Pfizer, part of the vast vaccine industrial complex, just a doji out here, about half the volume of yesterday. PSX on the move again, and not surprising, all the energy stocks are up here at the highs. And I've been long one for a while, so gas prices, well, I don't like them high. A little less of a bite, knowing that I've actually making a lot more money in energy than it's costing me at the pump. 110.07, June 8th, 3.6 million shares. Already have more than that, but not holding it. Energy's been a little bit lighter from the September 26th up to the highs, but not a whole lot. SoFi had a huge move higher think it was about 20%. Gave about 3/4 of that back already. What are we seeing here? $5.83 when it went to 647. And again, I think there were just a lot of people that went short yesterday, and they were easy pickings. They probably put stops in. They ran them all in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes of the day, and then it turned on them. But that was kind of what I was looking already for, with all of the incredibly light VIX put buying. I think we were 20%. And some of the all-time lows are at 15%. So we weren't that much higher over it. Generally, you've got a lot of ability to squeeze once you get up into the 40, 50% range. Gives you a good idea that just as many people think that it can go higher as lower. And generally, it's easy to run the shorts. A lot easier than running the long and bullish positions. Another one out here in the energy space. May have enough volume by the end of the day. Does look like it could hold the highs. February 2nd, $44.33, 500,000 shares. Certainly 361 now. My guess is you could tie it. You need to stay above 44.33 for the close, and maybe in the next few days. You got to think that really what's going to happen is that we've been using the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to keep prices down. And we're probably just going to see at some point, maybe it's the day after the election, maybe it's 2 days after, maybe it's a week. But when that quits hitting, you probably got, what, 20, 30 bucks in crude prices higher? Probably fairly quickly, because there's not going to be anything else to come in behind that. Nobody really saying when that's going to happen, but I don't see how you don't just sit on your hands if you've got a good position and let it ride. Cisco, SYY, that is been bouncing around this $90 level. And of course, this is not the Cisco. This is the SYY one. This is the one that delivers food to all the chain restaurants. Little gap down, decent volume out here, but on quite the run. Really since the 13th of October. Volume's okay out here. There, we did pierce kind of the what would be a downtrend line, or the uptrend line, which would be a bearish if it closed underneath it. But you're back up there, not that bad. Cereal malt beverages. This one, of course, had some fairly decent moves on the back of Sam, which had a big short squeeze. Now this one, just a huge wide-ranging bar on it today. Okay. Okay. QBTS. We'll take a quick look at that. QBTS. Okay. Yeah, Applebee's, all the big chain restaurants. Okay. I don't see anything out here that shows that this should be anything close to a buy. At the moment, you're just continuing to go down. The pattern I like, you're not going to know when this thing does it. Wyckoff called it an automatic rally, and that is without any preparation. It just turns and starts running. My guess would be that you're going to, if this would be a buy, you want it to go sideways for a week or two. Go back above the 3x3, close back below it for a day, and then the next time it moves back above it, have an alarm set there, and that's where you want to buy. I don't see anything in this. As yesterday I said, if you're not doing well now, it is extremely rare that you start seeing a stock do well before the end of the year. Once you're into November and you're not headed higher, if you're not first, you're last. I got a little quote from Ricky Bobby there. And that's it. There just isn't a lot of reason to go after stocks that have been on the downside in the last 2 months. Generally, everybody wants to pour into the ones that are doing well, and that is, of course, energy. What else can you say? Okay. I did not look at Meta yet today. Let's take a quick look at Metamucil. It is just incredibly tough to get a stock that's down up before the end of the year. You know, the best thing they can do is go sideways. It is not uncommon to see the biggest losers of this year, though, bought at the first of the year. It's just not very many people want to buy them before the new year. We'll be back in a minute.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Yep, that's it. Okay. Do we have much going on here? I don't see much. Options are pointing to around 38.50 on the S&P and into expiration. 390 on the SPYs was and did look like a brick wall to the upside. Continues to act like that. And of course, probably the biggest problem is if you're not an option seller here into selling spreads into probably, you probably wanted to be selling puts, or selling calls yesterday and then selling puts today. but you're only going to get a day of option decay before you want to probably get out of them. I don't tend to want to hold any of those spreads through the Fed. You don't always make money on them. But that's kind of it. Anyway, yeah, 38.50-ish is kind of the central point of where options have been pointing to for a handful of days. And 3,900, pretty hard. Now, can we take that out tomorrow with the Fed singing very dovish songs? And maybe he's going to sing Prince's song, When Doves Cry. Maybe that does it, and you break through it. But I don't think with just any normal volume, we're breaking through 3,900 anytime soon. Now, maybe they do come out with it. I think a lot of people on Wall Street have been pushing kind of a narrative that they're going to blink in December. And, they've already kind of said that it's 0.75% this month and 0.5% next month. But we'll see what they actually say. Let's see. We got some more emails here. We'll get them in a minute. Let's go back to Uber. Again, like I said, you're going to want to be kind of wary about how, if you're short, how bad the concentration is. There aren't a lot of people short, but there are a handful of stocks that are very short. We talked about that in Apple on Friday, and you saw the big move in that. We saw some of the other ones this morning where they had a big pop, and as soon as everybody covered, they kind of came right back to earth. Probably not that good of news, at least from what I looked at in Uber. Not that bad. Just I think far too many people are lining up to go short, thinking that the same thing that happened with Metamucil, as I call it, are doing, and they're going to go out the other way. So not a big fan right now, but probably comes back to 28, my guess. WAB, which is Westinghouse Air Brake Systems, back up to its previous high. That is the September 12th high. Now you had 826,000 shares. Today you got 500. You had 1.2 going into this on the 28th. So, they come kind of a bigger industrial kinds of companies generally don't do well in this kind of market, but looks very interesting. Let's see what else. We got some more stuff. Look at NVIDIA, NVDA. Okay. As we talked about this yesterday, I think it's just coming up. I'd look for 145, and if volume remains very light, that's probably the top of this move from 108.13, that low of October 13th. So don't see much going on in there. Let's take a look at the usual suspects as long as we're here. Microsoft, really, like I said, if you're on the downside right now, it is very tough to get a lot of upside going once you get in November. So, to me, I would love to see Microsoft go sideways for about 2 months and then kind of come back maybe right after Christmas or January. But, it just seems to be, and historically, doesn't mean that happens 100% of the time. It's just historically hard to get everybody involved in a stock that is on the downside. Okay, what else do we have? We've got a question about Netflix and FLX. Okay. And see. Well, you are closing below. You just don't have much in the way of volume here. If the Fed drops the proverbial baby Ruth in the pool, the support comes in on Netflix about 255. I know Disney, for all the talk, really doesn't have much of anything worth watching from my friends. More recycled and bad Star Wars fare. Doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I did see one that was very, very interesting, and it was Werewolf by Night. And I have to say that one of the reasons I watched it over at a friend's house last week was that it was so highly rated. And very few things on the Disney Channel are very highly rated, but actually fairly good. The amazing thing is it's got 5 times more viewer than She-Hulk, and it cost 1/20th to actually produce. And that's where these big companies continue to think that they can just throw money at issues and still have something worth that is creative. Still think it is problematic for a lot of these companies that are all fighting over the same ideas. In fact, I saw an interview last night about the creator of The Big Bang Theory. He also had the 2.5 Men on, and he was already producing that. And he decided he was going to get one more show on the air, so he decided to start The Big Bang Theory. And he went through the first year, which they only had like 8 episodes out. And the strike in 2007, the strike came for the writer's strike, and they were not producing any new episodes out of the 18 they were supposed to produce for that year. And they just started repeating over and over. Of course, this is before Netflix is really streaming, and they got lots of people invested in it. So when it came back on the air, they had a lot of people ready to watch the next 10 episodes for that first season. But that was kind of he was basically saying that was really kind of the first hint that people can binge watch or catch up on a show and get invested in it before it runs. And there's just not that. The only other thing people are talking about in streaming that I've heard of is the new Game of Thrones, which I don't think also has that many viewership, that much viewership. But apparently the first 3 or 4 episodes were horrible, but the rest is fairly good. So HBO kind of back on that bandwagon. But apparently it turned out a little bit better than everybody said. I saw 1 episode, thought it was pretty poor, but that was, I think, the second or the third one. Anyway, it's all about content. Content is king. And unfortunately, most of these are got very mediocre content at the moment. We'll be back in a minute.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
And we're back. I had a question from, I can't remember anything these days. Let's go to here. From Zach. He goes, what do you think of Super Micro? I have to say I'm fairly biased because I just bought a $400 card from these guys for a RAID controller. And they're, you know, if you're talking about not consumer stuff, not kind of gaming stuff, but one level above that, kind of the workstation crowd, Super Micro is doing extremely well. So I do like their products. The biggest problem I have is, especially if we have more of a recession next year, workstations are pretty much a business kind of oriented product. And generally, when the big companies start cutting a little, the medium-sized companies start cutting a lot, and that would be my biggest problem. The chart looks fairly good. You have a lighter test of a low. You've had a nice gap up on earnings. You know, company's good, making great products. I think it has more to do with the overall general market for not the cloud, but just underneath it for people that are going to have workstations like me for doing a lot of investigative works on databases or maybe creative content, that kind of stuff. But top-notch stuff, a little light volume going back into the previous high. Again, the biggest problem you have is what's happening in the overall market for Super Micro. Did have a lot of other people asking me in the last couple of days too about what I like in hardware these days, and they're all asking what SSD should I buy. And right now, you know, for a while I had to say that there was no doubt you just bought Samsung's top of the line, but even Samsung's kind of fallen behind. But Kingston's fairly good. And, you know, I don't play with a lot of this hardware all the time. But if you're looking for reviews, that kind of stuff, the best thing to do is just Google Tom's Hardware and just look at the reviews. They generally keep them up. They have lots of products. I've followed them for probably 15 years. They haven't set me wrong really once. They may have better reviews. Some of them, you know, not much different. But, you know, Samsung does have this new 990 Pro for SSD on an M2 dot form factor. So there's some of these good, but, you know, it's hard to beat for half the price, basically as something almost as fast. You know, if you have money's no object, Samsung 990 Pros now, but for, like I said, half the price, you can get the Kingston KC3000. It's about the same price. Third running is a Western Digital Black SN5 SN 850. But, if you're actually looking for something, the first thing I do is generally go to Tom's Hardware. I start looking at the reviews of the last few times and see whether or not they make a lot of sense. The author, has a head on his shoulders. But I don't know of any other websites that are really that good. They have a lot of ads, and I have to say that some of these ads or some of these reviews, probably they could go for the jugular, but since these people advertise on their site, sometimes a little more problematic. But I don't think that there's anything better than Tom's Hardware for going and finding recommendations on a lot of what's going on. Let's see, what else do we have? Anyway, review of the company and the stock itself. Okay. And got another question to take a look at the TLT from Jared. And as we said, what you want, or let me put it this way, the pattern I like the best for what's going on here certainly is setting up in the TLT for a bounce. And that is a bunch of days under the 3x3, 10 to 15, a few days, a lot of times 4 days, a close underneath it, and then you buy the next move back above it. That's generally where the big acceleration comes off the lows, and you get the counter move. We may get the close here today, or right at it. But, you want 1 or 2 days and then look for it to start moving higher, and that's where you get it. If you really don't get a move back above it, you're generally going to come back and fill the gap. That'd be about probably about $94, maybe $93.50 or so. And that would be kind of a longer term one. But if you're thinking that there's some kind of government action coming and you want to get, you think that the time to go long the TLT, which I don't think, but you could get a nice move back up to 101 on that pattern, which is actually fairly decent. Wabtec, I don't think we did this one yet before the end of the day. Here only, we did do Western Nat. Okay, so let's go back to some other ones. Don wants to know about Apple. You're just now in this trading range really from Friday. You had a doji yesterday. You got a light volume pullback. Again, you're probably going to get a pullback. You had a ton of people short. Once they covered, it got 157.50. Once everybody kind of covers, then kind of comes back. Was the news horrible? No. Could it even get back to 145 and 147? It could. But that's probably more an issue of the market than anything else. I don't see a great deal telling me I want to be one way or the other on it at the moment. Okay. Ray says, I want to look at the real Cisco, not the phony restaurant Cisco, and what's going on with this one. You're just back up to heavy resistance. You were down on 23 million shares on the 13th of September. You come back up with it with 17 million. What do you got today? About 7 million. So you're probably going to get to 46 something. I wouldn't be surprised to see that in the morning. And they're probably just sitting there on one side or the other, getting ready to go try to take out that high from the 12th of September where this thing gapped down. I don't see anything that tells everybody to go run out and buy Cisco routers. But at the same time, it's had a nice move up off the lows. But it's getting kind of in the high end of the nosebleed section of the stadium. Okay, we've got some other things here. Okay. I have an outstanding payment. Oh, that's okay. Say no to ED. Oh, boy. You never know what you're going to find in your email. Ooh. So this is going to remove some blockage. Well, I'll have more fun looking through my email during the break.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we come back, we're getting ready to wrap up. I don't see anything that changes much, as we've said from the newsletter this morning at the start of the show. Options continue to show that we're probably zeroing in around 38.50 or so for the S&P cash. We may have some kind of surprise in AMD after the bell tonight, but just look for very light volume, especially tomorrow. You'll have a bunch of volume till about 10:30. Then the volume generally just turns off like a light switch until about 2. Of course, then you get the announcement. You get a lot. But, for a day that normally you don't get a lot of volume, we're doing okay. So that generally means that just look for, be very quiet, probably until 2 o'clock tomorrow. Of course, then you got the presser at 2:30, and generally Powell talks till 3:15. So we're probably not going to know fairly late. I'm not going to be here. I've got a doctor's appointment. I'm not going to be back till about 3-ish. So you'll have to listen to the dulcet tones of someone else. But like I said, I don't think a lot's going to happen till about 3 o'clock, 3:15, after we get the heads up from Powell of whether or not as Prince's song said, will doves cry? Well, I don't know. But everybody on Wall Street, on CNBC and Bloomberg, they're all kind of talking the talk that Powell's going to blink. And I don't see a whole lot that says that he doesn't want to be remembered a lot more like Volcker than maybe Greenspan or Bernanke or the current Treasury Secretary. So we shall see. No reason to get in front of it. I think we can do a lot better by reacting to what actually happens tomorrow. Hang on for Tom O'Brien to wrap up the day. And, of course, as always, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you again on Thursday.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people.